How could I have ever seen this coming? 3 years ago, my girlfriend's childhood friend secretly swapped out the building materials.
He did it for the orphanage project, causing the whole structure to collapse. And with just one fake AI-generated video, my girlfriend completely bought it.
She actually believed that I, the lead structural engineer, embezzled the project funds. She literally forced me to kneel in front of the ruined orphanage, broadcasting my apology live to the whole country. It ended up breaking my legs. Then she tossed me right into prison to take the fall. I spent 3 whole years in a cell. Now I am finally out, only to find out my girlfriend is already engaged to that exact same childhood friend. Everyone probably expects me to lose my mind and cause a massive scene, but I do not cry, I do not rage. Instead, I quietly put together a plan. A very special wedding gift, just for them. They completely ruined my life, leaving a stain I can never wash off. So how can they just move on? How do they get to trample all over me and live happily ever after? First thing I do out of prison? Grab my phone and buy a ticket. A one-way flight out of the country. That future I spent years planning with Leo Nguyen, it is gone. Never going to happen now. So I might as well just leave and start totally fresh. Ticket booked. I take a deep breath and finally step out through those prison gates. Just a little ways ahead, next to a parked car, there is a horribly familiar shadow. Leo Nguyen is leaning right against the door. She is staring at me with absolutely zero emotion on her face. 3 years ago, when the orphanage collapsed, she gave me this exact same look. Congratulations on getting out, dear femme. A soft, overly friendly voice rings out. Mike Ba comes rushing over, clutching a massive bouquet of flowers. He is wearing this insanely expensive cashmere coat, standing right next to me in my worn-out rags. The contrast is honestly sickening to look at. Suddenly, he shoves that giant bouquet right into my face. I flinch and stumble back, and Mike Ba, he uses the perfect split-second timing. He just lets go, dropping the flowers straight into the dirt. They roll twice before stopping right at my feet. Mike Ba brought those to welcome you. What exactly is your problem? Leo Nguyen scowls and marches over. It is fine. Ziet Farm just is not used to being out yet. Mike Ba interrupts. He bends down to grab the bouquet. Maybe I did not prepare well enough. I guess he hates them. It is totally my fault. No, it is not.
Liễu Như Yên immediately pulls Mike Ba back up. You hear that, Diệp Phạm? Stop ruining his kindness. I let out a bitter laugh and quietly obey.
I bend down to pick the flowers up, even as this sharp sting hits my nose. Leo Nguyen and I were together for 5 whole years.
And yet, after just 3 years, she completely forgot that I am highly allergic to pollen. Seeing me grab the flowers, Leo Nguyen's face finally softens up. She holds on to Mike Ba and points right at the car. Get in. Mike Ba casually slides into the front passenger seat. I hesitate for a second.
I slowly pull open the back door. You can crash at our place for the next 2 days until you find a spot, Leo Nguyen says coldly. Wait, did she really just say that? Those words stab straight into my chest like a rusty blade. We are busy prepping for the wedding right now. You guys are actually getting married? I try my hardest to stay totally calm. Yeah, next month. Mike Ba beams with a massive smile. Ziet Phạm, listen, you should totally come help out. He is incredibly clumsy. Do not let him ruin anything. Leo Nguyen stares at Mike Ba, her eyes filled with affection. Even though I already knew we were completely over and done with, my heart still twists up in this agonizing, heavy knot. 3 years ago, I was a certified structural engineer. Leo Nguyen was an architect. We actually teamed up and built our own studio from the ground up. We took on this massive government-approved orphanage project, and Mike Ba, he was the main material supplier for the exact same job. But then disaster struck. Supposedly, due to my own negligence, a bunch of substandard materials got mixed into the site, right on the very day the orphanage officially opened to the public. A massive level 5 earthquake hit. The newly built structure crumbled to the ground, taking an innocent life with it. Instantly, Mike Ba steps up to the plate. He played the ultimate hero, leaking surveillance footage. In the video, I am standing there with a few guys, casually discussing a sudden material swap. It looked exactly like a dirty, under-the-table deal. He put on this righteous face and boldly announced, even though they threatened me to keep quiet about this.
My conscience refuses to stay silent. Just like that, overnight, I became public enemy #1 across the whole country.
I screamed until my lungs gave out that I did not do it, but nobody listened. The public's roaring anger absolutely refused to let me go.
Not even Liu Nguyen. She actually forced me to kneel in the rubble for 24 straight hours, streaming it live just so I could apologize to everyone. I had a raging fever back then. Kneeling in the freezing dirt all day and night completely broke my body down, and my poor legs paid the price. They just snapped. They never treated the injuries in time, leaving me crippled for good. When Liu Nguyen heard the news, she just coldly scoffed at it. Honestly, the fact that a piece of trash like him did not get dismembered is mercy enough. Right after that, Liu Nguyen and Mai Ba threw me away. Straight into prison to rot for 3 years. The car slowly rolls to a stop at a crosswalk. I stare out the window at the busy square outside. I watch kids laughing and playing, but listen closely. Those happy noises suddenly twist right into the agonizing screams of the kids from 3 years ago. They pile up like thick vines, wrapping tightly around my throat, freezing me in place. But you know what the most messed up part of it all is? The house Liu Nguyen and Mai Ba picked for their new little love nest, it is the exact same house she and I bought together back then.
Except every single thing I spent hours decorating is totally wiped out. In its place, a bunch of brand new, completely different furniture takes up the space.
Hey, we are getting married anyway. I did a massive purge and tossed a ton of old junk out. Mai Ba laughs out loud. Sorry about that, Zipfam. I'll make it up to you. Make up for what? Hasn't he caused you enough trouble already? Liu Nguyen furrows her brows, shooting me a look of pure disgust. The past is in the past, Mai Ba says with his fake generosity. But Haziab, your old room is actually mine. Now, so you'll have to crash in the living room. Imagine that. Standing inside my own house, relegated to the couch. I glance over at
Liu Nguyen. She meets my eyes for 1 single second before looking away. I just let out a bitter laugh, nod, and haul my meager luggage toward the living room. That night, I lie awake on the sofa, staring blankly at the ceiling. From the next room over, the sound of Liu Nguyen and Mai Ba laughing gets way louder. I can't ignore it. Yet my eyes are so dry, I can't
even shed a tear anymore. The noise only stops when it gets incredibly late. As for me, I stay awake the entire night. The next morning, I step out with dark circles under my eyes, and the very first thing I see, Mai Ba pulling his collar wide open, showing off these crazy marks all over his neck. Oh, Diep, you're awake? He deliberately tugs the shirt down further, making sure I get a crystal clear view. Everything. I just nod, avoiding his gaze completely. Suddenly, the doorbell rings. Mai Ba rushes over to open it, and a middle-aged woman
Walks in with a radiant smile. But get this, the second she spots me, her expression instantly turns incredibly dark. What is this totally useless guy
doing here? Well, Diep just got out of prison and has nowhere to go, so he's staying temporarily, Mai Pa explains. She scoffs, her eyes full of absolute hatred. This loser cost our family company so many shares. He kept you busy for ages fixing his mess, and now he actually has the nerve to stay in your house. Throw him out. Technically, Liu Nguyen and I bought this place together. But I've already decided to leave anyway, so I don't even bother arguing. I just keep my head down to avoid making her any angrier. Oh, so you're mute now too? She gets even more furious, stomping right up to my face. I heard you're my future daughter-in-law's ex-boyfriend.
Yet you have the absolute gall to crash at her and her fiancé's place? Are you even a real man? As she speaks, she raises her hand, ready to
slap me. I panic and instinctively dodge out of the way, but she loses her balance completely, tumbling backward and hitting the floor with a massive thud. Mom, are you okay? Mai Ba panics, rushing over to help her up. The loud crash brings Liu Nguyen help from the bedroom. Seeing this exact scene, she furrows her brow. What is going on? Mrs. Mai points a trembling finger right at me, screaming loudly, "Look what this useless punk just did." Liu Yin stares at me with heavy disappointment. I really thought 3 years inside would change you at least a little bit. Guess I was wrong. I want to explain myself, but meeting her eyes, every single word gets stuck right in my throat. "If that's what you think, then fine. Believe whatever you want," I reply coldly. Liu Yin gets so furious she lunges forward, slapping me incredibly hard. "That is my K-Ba's mother. Is this how you treat your elders?" The strike is so forceful, it actually sends me stumbling backward. A burning pain spreads across my cheek. Just lightly touching it hurts so much, I can't even get a single word out. "Hey, Dip, mind stepping out for a bit?" my K-Ba asks gently, though his tone is dripping with absolute arrogance. "Today, my mom, and I need to prepare our wedding stuff, and it seems like you two really shouldn't be in the same room." The pain slowly fades. I don't say anything else. I just quietly pick up my phone and walk straight out the door. "Your hand was hit badly. Should we call the cops?" Nurse asks with real concern while treating my injury. I just force a smile and shake my head. Once it's bandaged, I thank her and leave clinic. Suddenly, my phone buzzes. It's a text from Lil New Ian. "I lost my temper earlier and hit you way too hard. Sorry about that. Here is a little money. Go buy yourself some necessities." Right after that, a transfer notification pops up. I just laugh bitterly and shove the phone into my pocket. Looking up, I spot a fruit stand by the road and step inside to buy a few baskets. Right now, I really have nowhere else to go. Might as well visit my parents. When I step out of the car, a huge sign reads, "Ten Sun Cemetery." Now, pause for a second here. My parents passed away from severe illness years ago. Between opening the studio and the accident that sent me to prison, I was always way too busy or completely unable to visit them. Looking back, since they passed, the times I've actually come here can be counted on one hand. I gently place the fruit basket right in front of the headstone. In the engraved photo, my parents are still smiling as warmly as ever. "Mom, Dad." I reach out, softly touching the freezing stone. My throat suddenly tightens up entirely. "I am so sorry for letting you both down. If only I had been a little more careful back then, maybe things wouldn't have ended up like this." The wind blows, making the branches rustle. A few yellow leaves quietly drift down onto my shoulder. I just sit there, silently recounting everything that happened over the last 3 years. Even knowing they can't answer, speaking it out loud still feels way better than keeping it all bottled up inside. The evening glow stretches across the graves, casting a long shadow, like a deep crack that can never be filled. I stay until the sun finally sets, then stand up, rubbing my completely numb legs. "Mom, Dad?" "I'm heading out now," I whisper softly. "I still have some unfinished business to handle myself." Leaving their resting place behind, I walk much deeper into the cemetery grounds. Passing by countless rows of stones, I eventually stop in front of a completely different one. Placed right before it are some wilted offerings. Looks like someone actually visits here pretty often. I set my fruit basket down and take a very deep bow. This is the only person who was lost in the orphanage collapse that day. She was a teacher there, sacrificing herself just to protect those innocent kids. Our guy kneels right in front of her grave, carefully wiping all the dust off the stone. Suddenly, a sharp swishing sound cuts through the air from behind him. He panics and ducks his head just in time, barely dodging a heavy clod of dirt. It smashes right into the tombstone, completely shattering it to tiny little pieces as dust flies everywhere. He turns his head around, locking eyes with a furious young guy. "You absolute monster! Do you actually still dare to show your face around here?" The guy screams out in pure rage, charging straight at him. "How dare you even visit my mother?" He violently grabs tightly onto his collar and shoves him hard backward. "You deserve to pay a much heavier price for this. Just disappear." The guy aggressively kicks him right in the stomach. He lets out a painful gasp, stumbling backward a few steps before his foot completely slips. That terrible, weightless feeling hits him instantly as he tumbles right down the steps. He desperately tries shielding his head. Even though he avoids any major injuries, his entire body aches so badly he cannot even move an inch. From the corner of his eye, he sees the angry guy grab something heavy, marching quickly toward him. "That is enough. Any further and you will end up in prison." Really powerful shout echoes out. Our guy opens his eyes wide. It is Lu Ruyan. She steps right in front of him, totally blocking that furious guy's path. The angry attacker glares fiercely at her for a second, then turns back to Diep. He spits on the ground in pure disgust, before finally storming off. "You cannot even protect yourself, yet you run here to suffer. You really have some high endurance." Once the guy is far away, Lu Ruyan coldly looks down. She stares right at him. "This has nothing to do with you." He forces himself up, replying in a pretty flat tone. She just stays totally quiet, her deep eyes completely locked onto him. Her gaze keeps shifting around, making her true feelings totally unreadable. "Let us go." She suddenly grabs him tightly by the hand. She drags him away. On the silent ride home, neither of them says a single word. Once they arrive, Maijiba is there, and he happily pulls her into a warm hug. But hold on, notice how weirdly he looks at Diep. "Did you two come back together?" he asks. "I just went to the cemetery for a quick trip and bumped into him, so I just brought him along," Rian replies. "The cemetery? Why would you even go out there?" Jiba asks in surprise. "The welfare project is finally restarting soon. We have that massive bidding event next week, so I went to visit the families of the victims." Lu Ruyan hesitates just a bit before speaking. Hearing this exact detail, Diep's hand completely freezes right on the doorknob. As that crucial bidding day gets closer, Liu Ruyan gets incredibly busy. Jiba is also rushing around, preparing for their upcoming wedding, rarely ever staying at home. Besides dumping every household chore onto our guy, they do not care about anything else. Being left alone, he finally has much more time to prepare for his trip abroad. The day before the huge bidding event, while cleaning up the place, he accidentally spots Ruyan's secret bidding documents left right on the tea table. Hesitating for a brief second, he decides to bring them into her room. Setting the thick folder down, he turns around to leave, but right at that exact moment, he bumps into Liu Ruyan pushing the door open. "What exactly are you doing inside my room?" She frowns, looking pretty annoyed. "You actually left your bidding documents out on the table, so I just brought them in," he replies calmly. Perhaps at this very moment, she finally remembers leaving her folder outside. So she drops the issue and totally changes the subject. "My wedding with Maijiba is happening in exactly 2 weeks. Will you be attending it?" He almost reflexively shakes his head. "Let us just skip it. My presence brings bad luck anyway. Plus, my flight ticket is already booked for 2 days from now." Li Ruyan seems totally caught off guard by that answer, freezing up slightly. Seeing her reaction, he quietly walks right around her, softly whispering, "Wishing you and Maijiba a lifetime of absolute happiness together. After all, we will never, ever see each other again." The highly anticipated bidding day arrives in a flash. Early that morning, Ruyan and Jiba head out very early. After finishing the house chores, Deep heads straight back to his room to pack up his luggage. But suddenly, now pay close attention here, things get completely crazy. A massive crash echoes outside. Before he can even react, the door is violently kicked open. Ruyan stands there, absolutely furious. She charges in and violently grabs his neck. "What on earth are you trying to do?" She grits her teeth, eyes totally wild. The opponent's bidding plan is identical to ours, down to the very last comma. What is your problem? He gets choked so hard he cannot breathe, only managing to grab onto the wall just to stay standing. "What are you even talking about? Besides you, who else touched my secret documents?" Liu Ruyan's grip on him gets tighter and tighter, completely losing her mind in anger. "Do you have any idea how much effort we poured into this massive bidding event?" The oxygen in his lungs slowly runs out. He can only cling desperately to her arm as his vision totally starts blurring out into pure darkness. Deep, if you needed money, you could have just told us. Why do this and completely ruin everyone's incredibly hard work?" Amidst all this terrifying dizziness, Maijiba's voice cuts through, sounding unusually clear. He casually leans against the wooden doorframe, the corner of his mouth curling right up into a super smug smile. "No." Deep struggles to squeeze out a few quiet sounds, desperately trying to explain himself. Ruyan suddenly lets go and he instantly crashes, right down to the ground, coughing violently. "Seems like you never ever change," she says with a freezing cold tone, turning around to call two huge bodyguards inside. They grab his arms on both sides, aggressively dragging him straight out of the room. "I want to see exactly how much pain you can really endure." Ruyan grits her teeth, completely furious, ordering those two men to drag him straight down into the basement. This dark room only has one long staircase leading up. Besides storing a bunch of old junk, almost nobody ever comes down here. They violently toss him right onto the freezing cold ground. Li Ruyan does not even bother looking back, just locking the heavy door from the outside. "Stay here until I clean up this awful mess." Down in that dark basement. It is almost impossible to track time at all. Deep has absolutely no idea how long he has been trapped in there. Finally, the heavy door swings open. He slowly looks up, discovering the person standing there is Mai Jiba. "What are you doing here?" he asks in a rough, hoarse voice.
"Of course I came to see if you are finished." Mike Ba drops his gentle act, speaking with pure malice. "You are truly pitiful."
Taking the blame for something you didn't do. "So it really was you," I say. "What do you actually want?" I look right up, straight into his eyes. What do I want? I want to make absolutely sure you never show your face to Lu Nuyen ever again.
Mike tells me, "I intentionally leaked the news to the victims' families, telling them that you showed up at the cemetery so they could finally handle
You once and for all. I didn't expect you to be so lucky, getting saved by Lu Nuyen." He gives this cold little smirk. Seeing Lu Nuyen willing to step in and help you out, I naturally felt pretty uneasy. Thinking it over, I decided to handle it myself to be totally sure. He pauses for a moment, then bursts out laughing. "All right, you still don't know about this, do you? That exposure video against you? I actually used AI to fake it. And those construction materials from back then, I swapped them out." My eyes suddenly widen in pure shock. My Ba is the material supplier. He had more than enough time to fake absolutely everything. You treat people's lives like garbage. Sooner or later, you will definitely pay for this. I scream at him in pure rage. It doesn't matter. He just casually shrugs his shoulders. "After all, you have already become my perfect little scapegoat anyway. Besides, even if you tell the truth, nobody is ever going to believe you." My Ba stands up and laughs. "Come on, those who are gone." Cannot say a single word. He pulls out a match, lights it, and tosses it right into the pile of junk nearby. "I will make sure to prepare a really nice tombstone for you." After saying that, he turns around and walks away, casually locking the door from the outside. The basement is completely filled with flammable stuff. The flames spread fast, and the scorching heat makes my throat burn. But right in this exact moment, my sheer will to survive has never been stronger. I absolutely cannot let these flames become the final ending of my life. Watch closely, because this is where everything shifts gears. I grab the iron bar next to me, using every ounce of my strength to pry open that ventilation door, right before I completely lose my breath. I finally manage to crawl outside. The exact moment I breathe in that fresh air, I feel this overwhelming sensation of being completely reborn anew. I withdraw every single penny from my account, throw my phone away, and leave this place without looking back. Li Nuyen, from this day forward, we are never going to cross paths again. Meanwhile, Liu Nuyen spends 3 entire days incredibly busy, dealing with the whole bidding plan plagiarism mess. During these 3 days, she does not get a single moment to rest. She even sleeps at the office, having zero time to go back home. She rubs her temples and turns on the phone she hasn't touched in days. What truly surprises her is that there are absolutely no messages from Dieppe. Fam at all. She hesitates for a second, then finally calls him. The ringtone echoes endlessly, but nobody picks up. Frustrated, she hangs up the phone.
A strange, creeping sense of unease starts rising in her heart. Nuyen, I heard you finished sorting it out, so I came to visit. Mike?
Buh eagerly pushes the door open and speaks up cheerfully. Why are you here? Seeing him, Lu Nuyen tries to suppress her inner anxiety and replies with a smile. Of course I was worried about you. You've been so busy these past 3 days. Aren't you going to rest a little bit? My K-Ba smiles, wrapping his arms around Lu Nuyen. Hearing him say that, Lu Nuyen suddenly remembers something important. Deep Palm seems to have been locked down in that basement for 3 whole days now. Right. How has Diep Pham been doing lately? Liu Nuyen asks him. Oh, I have absolutely no idea. My K-Bot pretends to be innocent. I have been super busy preparing for the wedding, staying over with my mom. In reality, he had already blocked the building manager's number on her phone long ago. Even if they noticed anything suspicious, they couldn't call to warn her at all. He figures by the time she finally goes back home, Diep Pham will probably already be reduced to mere ashes. Hearing this excuse, that sinking feeling of dread inside Liu Nuyen just keeps getting stronger. She pushes Mai Keba away, stands up, and tells him she needs to head home first. Right now? But I just finished booking a table at the restaurant. Mai Keba hastily grabs her arm. I have wanted to eat there for so long. Just come with me. Seeing Liu Nuyen looking a bit hesitant, Bat immediately pulls her downstairs. Just like that, they don't return home until 11 at night. You can guess what happens next. The second they step into the apartment complex, the manager rushes over. Miss Liu, you are finally back. We have been trying to call your phone endlessly, but we just could not
Reach you? We were completely terrified. What is going on? Seeing the manager looking so incredibly panicked, Lu Nuyen's heart suddenly tightens. Your house caught.
On fire, the manager reports. But luckily, it was only in the basement and didn't spread to the other rooms. We saw that nobody was inside the house, so we didn't take major action, just waiting for you to return to handle it. Boom. Lu Yuyan feels her entire mind go completely blank. She cannot even hear what the person standing right in front of her is saying anymore. She frantically drops everything and sprints straight toward her house. Deep Farm is still locked in that basement. The moment she pushes the door open, the sharp smell of burnt smoke hits her nose, stinging her eyes. She rushes down to the basement, but seeing the iron door still perfectly intact, all the hope in her heart completely vanishes. With trembling hands, she slowly opens the door. The sight inside leaves her utterly paralyzed. Everything in the basement has been scorched, with almost nothing left behind except for piles of ash. Only a few tiny fragments remain scattered around. Miss Lee, since the fire wasn't too massive and we couldn't get in touch with you at all, we didn't think it was appropriate to break the door down. We just sealed the ventilation hole and waited for the flames to burn out, the manager explained slowly. Looking cautiously at Liu Nuyen's terrible expression, I want to check the security footage right now. Liu Nuyen feels the temperature in her body run completely icy. She suddenly becomes strangely calm, lowering her voice to speak. There are no cameras inside the basement itself, but the surrounding area, the audio range is incredible. It catches every single sound. Liu Nuyen stares intensely at the screen, desperately hunting for any small clue. The front camera footage is crystal clear. Not long after Mai K-Ba walks in, the backdoor security camera captures something huge. It's Mai K-Ba's voice. He actually admits he secretly swapped the construction materials back then, boasting that dead men can't speak up anyway. Hearing his voice so clearly hits Liu Nuyen right in the chest like a sledgehammer. She never could have imagined the truth behind that. Accident 3 years ago hit a truth this horrifying. Back then, she specifically chose Mai K-Ba's company to supply the building materials just because. They had known each other since childhood. She thought working with a familiar face would be easier, completely unaware that this exact decision would get Diep Pham killed. Meanwhile, Mai K-Ba never expected her to check the security tapes, and he definitely didn't realize the camera's audio range was that good. Panicking hard, he instantly spins around to make a run for it, but he has no idea that Liu Nuyen is way faster. With a sharp glare, she orders her bodyguards to block him, then grabs him right by the collar. Taking 3 long strides, she walks right up and slaps him hard across the face. What did you do? Nothing. I didn't do anything. Mai K-Ba stammers, desperately trying to deny it all. Then where did that fire come from? Liu Nuyen screams at him, and right at that exact moment, her phone starts ringing. She hurriedly picks up. It's her assistant calling to tell her she just found out something big. The assistant's voice sounds totally off. She explains that she previously backed up the bidding documents on the cloud, but when she just logged in to check, someone had accessed and edited them 4 days ago. Liu Nuyen completely freezes up. The company's cloud Backup system was only implemented in the last 2 years. There is absolutely no way Diep Farm could have known how to log
In. Even worse, the login address belongs directly to the My Family's Materials company. Hearing this exact detail, a chilling realization washes over.
Liu Như-yên, leaving her ice cold. Who could have guessed the trader leaking the files was the guy standing right next to her this whole time?
Her hand tightens around Mai Ba's neck, bit by bit, as she asks in a freezing tone, "Why did you leak the bidding files?"
Why frame Diep Pham? Because you still have feelings for him, don't you? Seeing that his entire scheme is completely busted now. Mai Ba finally drops the act. He glares at Liu Nuyen with this twisted, savage look. We are obviously a match made in heaven. So what right do you have to be with him? His deeply distorted, hate-filled expression catches her off guard, making Liu Nuyen momentarily freeze in pure shock. Are you insane? The past wraps around her heart like heavy chains, causing her an absolutely unimaginable amount of pain. Yeah, I'm crazy. Crazy because I love you, Mai Ba screams out. Meanwhile, the building security guards had already noticed the chaotic situation and called the cops. Right on cue, police sirens start wailing outside, getting closer by the second. Save those pathetic words for the cops. Liu Như-yên snaps, suddenly letting go of him. Her bodyguards instantly drag Mai Ba, tossing him aside and pinning him down hard against the chair. The police rush in, quickly restraining Mai Ba and dragging him out while he frantically struggles like a madman. On top of the arson case, Liu Như-yên also hands over the full audio and original video she spent a truly massive amount of effort tracking down. This is hard proof that Mai Ba used artificial intelligence face swapping to frame Diep Farm. The police will handle everything from here on out. She also drops the entire truth online for everyone to see. Now watch this. The public finally realizes they've been blaming an innocent man all these years. The families of the victims from that old welfare institute accident lead a massive, angry crowd straight to the My family's luxurious villa, demanding severe punishment for Mai Ba. At the same time, the My family's once powerful construction materials business instantly goes into a total, devastating tailspin. More and more former partners step up to expose the shady quality of their materials. With all this completely devastating news flooding the media, the My family members are far too terrified to even step outside their front door, left cowering and trembling inside their own home. Liu Như-yên không cần care less về what happens to them now. Every single day, she visits the cemetery. Because of all the highly flammable materials, Diep Farm's body was completely destroyed. She could only buy a small plot of land right next to his parents' graves to build a fake tomb in his memory. Every day she buys 2 bouquets of flowers, one placed carefully at his parents' grave, and the other laid down right in front of his. She kneels before Diep Farm's tombstone, drowning in regret for everything she did. Meanwhile, miles away, Zhu, could you handle writing the report this time? Diep Pham smiles, accepting his colleague's request before diving back into his work. Going overseas was definitely a bit rough at first, but during his time in prison, he never gave up, pushing hard to study architecture. Once he finally made it out of the country, he worked non-stop while continuing his education, eventually getting accepted into a highly prestigious architecture school, even though he already knew the dark truth about that accident years ago. He always wondered if he had just been a little more careful, a little more serious back then. Could he have stopped the tragedy? It's a heavy question, right? But that exact mindset drove him to successfully graduate and get personally recommended by his professor to a top-tier studio. Now, he's a certified structural engineer, working on countless massive projects and slowly building a real name for himself in the industry. Next week there's an overseas assignment right in your home country. His colleague hands him a file with a smile, adding, "You haven't been back in a really long time, right? Do you want to take this opportunity to finally visit home for a bit?" Honestly, it hit me that I hadn't visited my parents' graves in years. After a moment of hesitation, I just nodded and finally agreed. The project schedule was pretty crazy. By the time we wrapped things up, I had less than 12 hours before my next flight out. I didn't even take a break, just rushed straight to the cemetery. Mom, Dad, I'm back. And hey, I'm not looking like a total mess this time around. I'm wearing a really sharp suit, looking totally put together. Setting a fruit basket down in front of their resting place, I tell them softly, "Don't worry,
I'm doing great now. I actually have a job I love, my very own place, and a perfectly stable life. I just keep casually chatting with them."
I am completely unaware of the quiet footsteps approaching right behind me. Diet Pham. Startled, I jump up and spin around to see who it is.
Now watch this. It is Liu Nu Ian herself. Her eyes are totally red, looking like she hasn't had a proper night of sleep in absolutely ages.
In her hands, she is tightly holding 2 bouquets of chrysanthemums. Her grip is so insanely tight that the stems are actually bent out of shape. She stumbles forward. Just 2 steps, staring at me in total disbelief. "Diet Pham, you're alive!" I quietly take 2 steps back, making sure to keep a very safe distance between us.
I give her a polite, distant nod. "It has been quite a while, Miss Liu." "Diet Pham," she says, "I've come here every single day these past few years."
She lifts those crushed flowers up, looking at me with so much desperate hope. "I never stopped thinking about you, not even once." I just look away. It's honestly pretty awkward. "Miss Liu," I say, "I'm actually allergic to pollen now." Liu Nuyen completely freezes up, then immediately throws the flowers right to the side. "I'm so sorry. I completely forgot about that." Acting like she desperately wants to make up for everything, she frantically fumbles around with her hands. She pulls out her phone, clearly wanting to show me something. "Oh right, Diet Pham, look at this. My Ba actually got hit with a life sentence in prison." His entire family business completely crumbled to the ground too. He can never hurt anyone ever again. I cut in. "Sorry, Miss Liu, but I am actually in a rush." I keep my voice totally calm. Besides, there is absolutely nothing left between us anymore. None of this has anything to do with me now. "I know," Liu Nguyen says, frantically grabbing my hand. She speaks so fast. "That design studio we built together, I had it transferred entirely to your name. I even set up a whole charity foundation using your name. For all these years, I have just been trying so hard to make things right with you. So maybe we can start over." I stop her right there. "Thank you for everything you have done." Very gently, I peel her trembling fingers off my hand, one by one. As I pull away, you can actually see the last spark of hope completely fade from Liu Nuyen's eyes. "I'm sorry, Diet Pham, but can we really not?" "Can we really not start over?" she whispers. "Liu Nuyen." I say her name one last time, and honestly, you know what? It feels completely different now. That name doesn't make me feel a single thing anymore. Zero emotion. Look, I'm really busy right now. I have this huge international conference I need to get to. It is for a brand new children's welfare project. She just stands there silently, staring at me, completely out of words. As for me, I don't look back. Not even once. I just walk straight out of the cemetery. In the distance, a car horn honks, my colleagues rushing me to get on the plane. I look up at a flock of pigeons taking off into the sky. My heart feels so incredibly light. All those old, heavy feelings just vanish right away. Behind me, a soft sobbing sound catches in the wind, scattering completely into the empty sunset. It just drifts away towards some distant, forgotten place. My own future still has a long, long way to go. There is absolutely no need to ever look back.